This is Nigeria Today. We'll begin in the nation's capital, where barely a week after Justice Evelyn Hayadike of the Federal High Court, Humahia, ordered the Attorney General of the Federation to delete the Section 84, subsection 12 from the Electoral Act. Lawmakers in the Senate and House of Representatives have now resolved to appeal the judgment. This followed a deliberation on the court order at Wednesday's plenary in both chambers of the National Assembly. Tidiswa Adeoye and Joke Adisa have details.
The judiciary and legislature are presently at loggerheads over Section 84, subsection 12 of the recently amended Electoral Act 2022. At Wednesday's plenary, the matter was brought to the floor for debate. Senator Sekibo's motion prompted his colleagues to act fast and appeal the recent court judgment nullifying the clause. He insists any further delay may set a precedent to ridicule the good intentions of the National Assembly.
The Senate believes that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should show concern on the judgment, especially when she was not given opportunity to represent herself in a matter such as this that emanates from legitimate functions. The Senate finally believes further that letting the judgment to go without concern will become a precedent on which any person could go to the court and obtain judgment to ridicule the good intentions of the National Assembly as an institution.
The President of the Senate has suggested that it refers the matter to its Committee on Judiciary to be properly guided on the matter, but his suggestion was immediately shut down by other lawmakers who suggested that the Senate acts immediately.
So I will advise an amendment to read, refer to Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters to advise on the appropriate line of action. Because most of us are laymen, but we have also learned men.
This is straightforward, that the appropriate channel to appeal. So in making an appeal, we do not necessarily need any guidance from the Committee on Judiciary.
The Senate later resolved to follow the appropriate channel and appeal the decision of the court to set aside the judgment, as it was reached without due consideration of the constitutional interpretation in Section 318 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. From the National Assembly, Tidiswa Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
Last Friday, a federal high court in Umuahia, Abia State, ordered the Attorney General of the Federation to immediately delete Section 84, subsection 12 of the amended Electoral Act. The section reads, "No political appointee at any level shall be voting as a delegate or be voted for at the convention or congress of any political party for the purpose of the nomination of candidates for any election." Members of the House are enraged by the controversial judgment as Katsina State Legislator Sada Soli brings it up under matters of privilege. He says the judgment breached his right as a lawmaker.
A court, a judge, somewhere, Mr. Speaker, is given that right to an executive appointee encroaching into the principles of separation of powers.
Others who spoke on the motion cautioned against dragging the National Assembly in the mud by usurping its functions.
In the Constitution, where there is separation of powers, and where we have been made by the provision of the Constitution for us to make laws, that somebody is trying to do our job.
The court should have made an order for the National Assembly to be joined before taking any action.
Members of this institution must rise against this aberration. We are not only lawmakers, we must be custodians of laws, and laws must have to be obeyed in this country.
I cannot sit here and allow the institution which I, at this present time, head and lead, to be ridiculed under my watch.
Arising from debate on the matter, the House resolved to appeal the controversial judgment. It also called on Abubakar Malami to stay action on the execution of the judgment, while it agreed to petition the National Judicial Council on the matter. President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill into law in February on the condition that the National Assembly will expunge Section 84, subsection 12. But barely 1 week after, a federal high court sitting in Abuja barred the President, the Attorney General of the Federation, and the National Assembly from tampering with the law. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami says the deletion of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act of 2022 is still a work in progress and is being considered as such. The AGF spoke while fielding questions from State House correspondents after the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting earlier today. According to him, while the possibility of appeal is not in doubt, government creators and the Law Reform Commission responsible for codification and gazetting of the laws are collaborating with the Office of the Attorney General to ensure that any addition made to the law is in line with the provisions of the law.
It is indeed a work in progress, against the background of the fact that the Law Reform Commission is involved statutorily in the, which is a ministry, a parastatal under the supervision of the Office of the Attorney General, is a party to the process of codification of the law. The government printers, which is saddled with the responsibility of gazetting our laws on the request of the Office of the Attorney General, is equally involved. And above all, as you rightly stated, the possibility of an appeal is equally there. So what I am saying in effect is deletion of Section 84, so Section 12 is a work in progress and is being considered as such.
Staying in Abuja, the Federal Executive Council has approved the sum of 92.12 billion naira for the construction of a second runway at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. This approval is coming a day after President Buhari inaugurated a new terminal building at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika disclosed the development while briefing State House correspondents at the end of the virtual council meeting presided over by President Buhari at the presidential villa. He said the entire sum would be spread over a number of projects to be carried out at the airport within a period of 12 months. According to the minister, the approval is a follow-up of President Buhari's directive to the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, to source special funding for the second runway of the airport.
Historically, there has been an attempt to put up a runway in Abuja. At the time, the company that was given the contract quoted 75 billion naira, and the contract was awarded, but Nigerians, through the People's Parliament, rose up and struggled for the contract to be cancelled. Perhaps what should have been done at that time, if funding or price was the issue, they could have reviewed it downwards to appropriate price and get the runway done, not throwing the baby with the bathwater. If that had happened during the life and times of the first government, we wouldn't have the need to shut down Abuja for repairs for some 6 odd weeks.
Here in Lagos, a safe, comfortable and modernized taxi scheme has taken off with the rollout of the first batch of 1,000 brand new cars by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The scheme, codenamed the Lagos Ride, was launched at a well-attended ceremony held at the State House in Alausa. The ride-hailing taxi initiative, which is being operated on a lease-to-own basis, is a component of the state government's multimodal transportation blueprint being executed under the traffic management and transportation pillar of the themes agenda of the Sanwo-Olu administration. Operators are required to pay about 1.9 million naira down payment, of which the sum covers 20% equity of the cost of the vehicle, registration and insurance. Governor Sanwo-Olu, while launching the scheme, said the state had moved another step forward in its drive to develop an efficient transportation model in tune with modernity and comfort.
People are being tracked. We're here to hand over to people that will be operating the lease-to-own taxi scheme. Under this arrangement, all beneficiaries will be provided with a brand new car, which over time will become the driver's property after the completion of the payments of the vehicles that have been heavily subsidized. This is the last in the series. The government has provided high-capacity buses. The government has provided medium-capacity buses. The government has provided last-mile buses. Now the government is providing taxi scheme to cater for the entire spectrum of our transportation.
And now to security matters, the Ondo State Commissioner of Police, Oyeyemi Oyeniro, has urged residents of the state to partner the police in tackling rising cases of kidnapping and other criminal activities. The police commissioner spoke at the inauguration of the newly renovated Ijapo Division Police Station and the foundation laying ceremony of a hall for the Police Community Relations Committee in the state. Ayodeji Moradia reports.
It is a known fact that security agencies cannot effectively combat criminal activities in the country without adequate support from the people. This again came to the front burner at the inauguration of the newly renovated Ijapo Division Police Station in Akure, Ondo State capital. The State Commissioner of Police, Oyeyemi Oyeniro, hammered on the need for better synergy among security agencies. Mr. Oyeniro was quick to add that security should not be left to the police alone.
Partnership between the community and the police. The Inspector General of Police have been saying it up to the time that we should be in tandem with you so as to go extra mile in securing our community. Community policing means partnering.
The police commissioner, who also laid the foundation for construction of a hall for the Police Community Relations Committee in the state, advised the people to be law-abiding.
Our sergeants are in town, adequate patrol, men on stop and search, jingles here and there, and so on and so forth. They should be law-abiding. There's no room for crime and criminality. Eventually, you must be caught if you indulge in it.
The divisional police officer, Bukola Fasimoye, assured residents that the police will continue to partner different communities in tackling criminal activities.
So it's a kind of giving back to the society. For me, it's giving back to society. Where I work, I must make myself comfortable and make my officers comfortable as well. That will boost their morale.
Security is not limited to the police alone. It's for everybody. Everybody, we have to secure ourselves through God, through our cooperation with the police. So if we see any flashpoint, that's our duty as PRC.
The State Commissioner of Police also assured the people that his men will continue to synergize with other security agencies in order to provide adequate security for them. Ayodeji Moradeyo, TVC News, Akure.
And authorities of the National Drug Enforcement Agency have seized over 1.9 million tablets of tramadol and codeine imported into the country from Pakistan and the United Kingdom through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. Of the total seizures, 40 cartons of Codamol, a brand of paracetamol with codeine, which is classified as opioid, was seized from a freight agent, Irakume Ehiz. The seizure, made on the 10th of March, translates to 349,800 tablets. And also, the NDLE operatives have arrested one of the kingpins behind the attempt to smuggle 11.93 kilograms of cocaine to Accra, Ghana through the Semiland border in Lagos. The 50-year-old suspect, Oyewumi Ahmed, was arrested at the Mile 2 area of Lagos following the arrest of a driver, Sagie Anthony, at Baji Seme Badagry Expressway on the 23rd of January. Let's turn to politics now. Stakeholders in the ruling All Progressives Congress are locked in intense consultations to come up with a unity list for party positions ahead Saturday's national convention. TVC News senior political correspondent Ayodele Zugbako takes a look at how the negotiations are going for selection of members of a new national working committee of the party.
The All Progressive Congress, APC,
has been caught in a web of leadership crisis in recent weeks. Selecting or electing members of the National Working Committee, NWC, of the party is proving to be a Herculean task for the APC. Leaders and governors in the party have been in and out of several meetings but are yet to agree on the choice of members to fill various positions in the committee. The party recently zoned its national chairmanship position to the North Central ahead of its March 26 national convention. 7 members have so far indicated interest to lead the party, including aspirants outside the agreed zone. This includes the former governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari, who has picked his nomination form.
The administration of Mr. President.
Governors of the All Progressive Congress, APC, are pushing for a consensus candidate ahead of the convention on Saturday, while other stakeholders are bent on contesting for the position. The party sold its nomination form for chairmanship aspirant for 20 million naira, while those contesting for the deputy chairmanship position paid 10 million naira, and those for other party positions got the forms for 5 million naira. Before now, the party has succeeded in choosing consensus candidates as its national chairman and are still pushing for the same mode. Other positions are also up for serious contests because it has been difficult to reach a consensus and form a unity list. Despite the grey areas and the controversies, the party is determined to go ahead with its national convention slated for this Saturday after 4 botched attempts. The party is also expected to hold another convention to choose its flag bearer for the 2023 presidential election. Ayodilu Zuwaku, TVC News, Lagos.
The Shakiri people of Warri South local government area of Delta State are threatening to stop any election in their area except the Independent National Electoral Commission reverts to 10 wards as against the 12 existing presently. Ikena Mechi has details.
Chanting solidarity songs with their placards bearing the reason for the protest, the Shakiri people marched to the INEC office in Warri South Council to express their displeasure over what they termed anomaly that has lasted for years despite a subsisting judgment over the illegal ward delineation in the council area.
We don't know the reason why INEC would disrespect court order. It got to the point where the court on February 4th, 2020, had to invite the Delta State REC to the court to ask him why they've disrespected the court order. The REC deposed to an affidavit telling the court that they are not disregarding the order of the court, that henceforth that they are going to conduct elections with the 10 ward instead of the illegal 12 ward. But till this day, there is no body language, even from the side of INEC, that they want to respect that order. And if they don't listen to the voice of reasoning, we are saying categorically clear that in 2023, there will be no elections in Warri South.
The Shakiri people are insistent on the immediate correction of this situation that has been disenfranchising some of them from performing their civic rights. The electoral officer in charge of the council area pledged to revisit the case.
I want you to please, honorably, go and put up a write-up to this effect through me to the REC, to the chairman in Abuja. I will help you facilitate it so that we can quickly arrest this situation before the elections, because things are working out very fast. The election is very close, so that we can sort this thing out once and for all.
The case of the ward creation in Warri South Council started 18 years ago by the default National Electoral Commission, NECON, but did not follow due process of waiting for the mandatory 10 years after the creation of the local government in 1991. Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Warri.
To health matters now, the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital has pledged to keep maintaining standards, which has put it among tertiary hospitals delivering best medical students across the country. Chief Medical Director Professor Ahmed Haidil stated this when a delegation from the Ministry of Health paid an assessment visit to the hospital. TVC News' Jesse Tafida reports.
The University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital has managed to keep up best practices in delivering quality healthcare services in the country since its establishment in 1983. With its 800-bed capacity, the hospital has been able to cater the healthcare needs of victims of the 12-year Boko Haram insurgency. Now, the Federal Ministry of Health is at the hospital to assess the project and program, special interventions, and released fund performance of 2020 to 2021.
I can say proudly that I was highly impressed from the structures, from the equipment, from what I saw on ground, that the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, like I said earlier on, is ready to actually stop medical tourism in Nigeria. I think it's one of the very few centers that I can say that has the facilities here, particularly in the northeast sub-region.
What we really need in this country, when we have Nigerians going abroad, meeting Nigerians, treating them abroad, why can't they stay here in Nigeria and treat Nigerians?
Chief Medical Director of the hospital, who took them round, assured to always sort out ways to improve its healthcare service.
We have 4 bunkers here, 2 linear accelerators and 2 brachytherapies. The linear accelerators that we have, that's the Electa Infinity, is the first one that is coming into Nigeria. And then the second one that the Federal Ministry of Health just finished the procurement process for us is called HD Vasa. And it has a facility for stereotactic surgery. With the support of the Federal Ministry of Health, my director is here and my permanent secretary is here. We will do whatever it takes so that nobody from Northeast can go outside Northeast for treatment. That's our target.
The Federal Ministry of Health promised to bring more intervention to support the hospital. The University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital says it will continue to work closely with the Federal Ministry of Health so as to uplift the standards of the healthcare sector in the state. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
And that's Nigeria Today. I'll be back at 10 p.m. with more stories. Stay with us.